Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I'm going to share a funny story I have from about a year ago about when my house got broken into, or at least I think it did. It's kind of a crazy story, but if you want to see what happened in it, please keep watching and I hope you enjoy. So it's my 9th grade year. This is 2 years ago now when this story happened, but I'm just sharing it now. I'm walking home from the bus stop, which is at like the front of my neighborhood, and I'm by myself just like listening to music, and I decided to take a shortcut home, which is probably stupid because no one can really see you back there, but that's not the point. That's not where this story is going. So I'm walking through the shortcut and I cut through the backyard, and I like remember seeing my brother's car in the driveway, so I was like, okay, Ian's home. And I go through the front door. I remember unlocking it, and I was like, okay, like, he probably locked it because he's home alone. My brother's older, by the way. So I go inside, and I remember the first thing I did was like I set my backpack down and went into my parents' bathroom to go pee. And I remember not turning on their bedroom light and just turning on the bathroom light, because you have to go through a door and then another door to go to the bathroom. So I remember turning on the bathroom light, going to the bathroom, turning off the bathroom light, shutting the door. I never turned on the bedroom light, and I shut the door to their bedroom. And I went on my merry way. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have an afternoon snack, and I like make the snack, and I'm sitting at the bar, like in the kitchen, like in the main thing, and my parents' bedroom's like right by the living room. So I'm chilling, I'm eating my afternoon snack, watching a YouTube video, talking to my dogs, and all of a sudden, bam! The bedroom door slams shut, and I'm like, no, nope, I'd rather not. So I'm like, I remember shutting that door when I came out. Like, there is no way I didn't shut it, because I always do. Like, there's no way. And I'm like, it wasn't the wind. Like, the wind didn't open it and then shut it again. So I'm like, okay, it's fine, I'm fine. So I remember I started like crying because I was freaking out. Well, actually, the first thing I did, I was like, I turned around and I looked at the door, and I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna die. So I get on the phone with my dad, I'm bawling, and I like grab the dogs, because I only had 2 at the time. Or maybe I had 3. I don't know, that's not the point. I grabbed my dog, the one that I cared about, and I went to my bedroom, which is right across the like hall from my brother's bedroom, and I saw that he wasn't in his room, so I was like, oh crap, I am home alone and I'm gonna die. A little dramatic maybe, but you know what, I was scared out of my mind. So I'm on the phone with my dad, I'm bawling, I'm like, Dad, I just went to the bathroom in your room, and I was eating my snack, and then the door slammed shut, and I think someone's in your room. And he's like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, why are you freaking out? I'm like, I have a knife, like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, what the heck is going on? Like, what are you talking about? So he's like, okay, calm down. He's like, do you have the dogs? And I was like, I have Sammy with me. And he's like, okay. So he's like, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out into the living room. And I'm like, you want me to do what? You want me to go where there could be a possible killer? No, I think I don't want to do that. And he's like, I want you to go in the living room, and then I want you to open the front door. And I was like, what? He's like, I want you to open the front door, and then I want you to go back inside and open my bedroom door and see if anyone's in there. And I'm like, by myself. You want me to do this all by myself? Okay, all right, I'm gonna have to man up a little bit. And I had like this giant steak knife in my hand. I'm on the phone, and my dog's like following me around, like, what the heck's going on? And they were barking too. Like, I remember where the dogs were barking, and I was like getting extra scared because they were like freaking me out. So I'm chilling on the phone with my dad, crying, and I'm like, Dad, stay on the phone. Like, I'm not gonna hold the phone when I'm doing this, but stay on the phone. And I get near the door, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do this. Like, I'm not today, sis. I am not dying today. So I'm like, Dad, I can't do it. And he's like, okay, I want you to go next door and get our neighbor. I'm not gonna say his name just because you're not supposed to do that. So I go next door, and I'm like, I remember setting the knife down because I didn't want to like scare my neighbors when knocking on the door and being like, hey, I think there's someone in my house. So I remember I set the knife down on my brother's car and I took Sammy on a leash next door and I knock on the door and the wife answers the door and I'm like, is your husband home? And she was like, I didn't say your husband, I said his name. And she was like, big his name or little his name? And I was like, big? Because I was like, wait, what? I didn't know her son and her husband were named the same thing, so I remember just being so confused. And then she was like, no, he's not home right now. Like, why are you crying? Like, what's going on? And so I tell her, I'm like, I think there's someone in my house. Like, and I'm like on the phone with my dad still. And my dad's like, all right, I'm gonna go. Let me know what's going on. And I was like, they're gonna come next door with me. And she was like, okay, hold on 1 second, sweetie. Because, like, I remember at the time they had just moved in and I didn't really know them. So I wasn't that comfortable going next door to, like, ask for their help. And she comes back and she has a knife and she brings her grandma. I mean, her mother. Sorry. I call her grandma because that's what the kids call her. But she brings her mom. And they both have knives, and we're walking, like, across the street to go back to my house, and I grab the knife off the car, and I have the dog still, and I, like, let the dog off the leash, and we go inside the house, and they're like, okay, what room do you think the person's in? And I'm like, oh, my parents' room. And they're like, we've never been here, sweetie. Like, we don't know what you're talking about. And I probably looked so insane. Like, I had never met them before. Like, they'd seen me walking the dogs before, but I've never met them before. So they were probably like, what is going on with this girl? And I remember the grandma, like, opened the door and she, like, this is the funny part. She, like, opened the door and she was like, I swear to God, if anyone's in here, you better get the f out. And I was like, I'm standing behind, like, the wife and I'm like, oh, I'm like terrified. I'm still crying. Like, I'm shaken up and I'm like laughing because of what she just said. And she's like, and she's got a knife in her hand. Like, remember this. Like, she's got a giant knife and she's like, I swear to God, if anyone's in here, you better get out right now. I will stab you. I will stab you. And I was like, okay. And so we, like, search around their room and, like, we don't see anything. And we're like, okay, like, there's no one in here. And then I remember we, like, went out into the living room and we're, like, checking the living room first, like, to see if anyone's there. There's no one in the living room. We go out into the garage. There's no one in the garage. We check the entire house. We go upstairs and, like, I was, like, not splitting up. Like, I was like, I'm not dying today. Like, I'm not gonna be that dumb person in the scary movie that walks off and gets killed. So, like, literally, I remember we all walked upstairs and she, like, kicks up in the closet and she's like, I will stab you. And she, like, kept saying that. And, like, I'm laughing because I think it's funny. And, like, I was laughing at the time, too. It was so funny to me because she was, like, literally such a mama bear and, like, so, like, I will stab you. I will stab you. And I was like, oh, my God. And, like, every time I tell this story to friends, they're like, oh, my gosh, Jenna, like, what? And so we check the entire house and I'm freaking out. But we get back downstairs and go check, like, the hallway bathroom. And the hallway bathroom has, like, a door out to the patio. And I remember we were walking to that bathroom and we heard the patio door slam shut. Oh, sorry. We heard the patio door, like, slam shut. And, like, it only would have slammed, like, it's never open on its own. So it slammed shut and I was like, oh my God, like, what? So we go to the hall bathroom and, like, the pool door is, like, unlocked. And it's never unlocked. Like, I don't leave it unlocked. Like, our family does not leave it unlocked. So I'm like, oh God, like, what? And the patio door had just slammed shut. So I'm like, oh, they probably just escaped. Like, oh my God. And I'm, like, bawling. And the mom's, like, trying to, like, calm me down. Like, they're being, like, freaking bounty hunters, like, looking for this human to, like, get out of my house. And then I remember, like, they were like, okay, well, we don't see anyone. And I was still freaking out. I'm off the phone with my dad. Like, I'm not even talking to him anymore. I'm freaking out. And they're like, okay, well, if you want, you can come next door and help us decorate for, like, a Halloween party. And, like, they were so sweet to me. And they were super, like, making sure like I was okay, and I was like, no, I think I'll just stay here, like it's fine. But I probably should have just gone next door, but I was like, I don't really know you guys, like I feel bad like just like imposing. So I was like in my house just sitting at the bar again, like after they had left, and I like gave them hugs and I was like crying. I get on the phone with my dad and I'm like, I'm okay, there's no one here. I told him about the pool door. He was like, that's really weird. And then I remember I just like sat out in the living room and I was so sketched the whole time. Like I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Like I still thought I was gonna die. And I remember just like sitting there watching like Shane Dawson, and I was sitting there and I'm freaking out, like petting the dogs, like crying still because I'm so shaken up. And then like I get a knock on the door, and the neighbor, it's like 2 hours later at this point, and the neighbor like comes and checks on me with her little girl. She's like, are you sure you don't want to come over next door and help us decorate for the party? Like it's fine, like we're like worried about you. Like, and I was like, wow, like I just made a soulmate with my neighbor. Wow, I love you guys. So if you guys ever see this video, I really appreciate what you did for me that day. But I was so terrified. Like I have literally never been more scared in my life. And like the next day coming home from school, like I was like, nope, Ian has to be home. Like I am not gonna be home by myself for a while after that. And I wasn't for a while because I was like not okay. But there's nothing I will remember more about that day than I will stab you. That's so funny to me. Like it's not funny at all because I could have like actually been hurt, but like the whole situation, looking back at it, it's kind of funny. So yeah, I thought that you guys might enjoy this story. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below any questions you have or story times that you want to hear about in the future. And subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.